Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's Joe, and it's time for an early pocket with Joe. I got a couple things I got to get done this afternoon, so I wanted to make sure I did this live because I love the interaction with you guys. So apologies to anyone who is coming in late and getting the recording of this at the regular scheduled time. I do apologize to you guys. I see some of you jumping in, so big shout out to you guys for having those notifications on. Appreciate that. Anthony, I don't know the last time I was down in Colorado. I actually haven't been down to Colorado, so definitely a place I'm going to check out sometime soon, but thanks for tuning into those shorts. I have a lot of fun doing those, so I'm glad you guys enjoy them. Shout out to each and every one of you. Yeah, an early cup is better than no cup. It's better to be here than not to be here at all. Completely agree, Taylor. Thanks for having those notifications on. So we do have 2 games on the board today. Now, looking at yesterday's, that long shot parlay was disgusting. The only one that came in was Vegas on the money line. But of the best bets, we got the Penguins on the money line, which we had to sweat into overtime. I was so freaking nervous with that one. The Islanders got another win. I didn't give it as one of my best bets. It was one of my premium bets. I really should have given it to you guys. I felt bad after. I was like, oh, I forgot to give everyone the Islanders. That was one of my favorites. But we did get Vegas on the money line. We didn't get Tampa over 3.5. I was really shocked by that. Not getting 4 goals on the Sharks and not beating the San Jose Sharks. Tampa was at home. So that is one where it's just like, wow, what happened to Tampa coming into this break? Big shout out to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's look at the 2 games on the board tonight. And yeah, the Islanders cashed that over 1.5. I hope you guys sprinkled on that. They just played absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, this team has a spark right now. So while they have the spark, keep rolling with it. They will play the Canucks tomorrow. This will be an interesting one to see how this one goes down. This is the only game versus the Canucks left of the season. Now with Bo Horvat, if I can say his name right. Now that Bo Horvat is with the Islanders, it'll be really interesting to see how they go into how they play with Vancouver. I was really hoping that he'd have to go back to Vancouver and see how the crowd reacted to him, but we're not going to see that till next season, you guys. So let's look at tonight's games. Chalky games tonight. So we have the Vancouver Canucks and the New York Rangers and the Minnesota Wild taking on the Dallas Stars. Now, the Vancouver Canucks come in as large dogs, and let me just make sure we haven't seen any movement on these lines because I haven't checked for the last hour. So plus 195 here for the Vancouver Canucks and minus 240 for the New York Rangers. So sitting the same, we're also seeing total of 6.5. And make sure you guys do go cash or shop these lines. I can't talk today. This is what happens when you start 20 minutes early, guys. So shop those lines. Make sure you get the best value because I have seen some different odds here, and depending on which way you like this one. Now, Spencer Martin is expected in goal tonight for the Vancouver Canucks. He's got a 3.94 goals against average. This team, we know, is without Bo Horvat here. So he was their number 1 goal scorer, but we saw this team play the New Jersey Devils. And they lost that game, but we saw 4 goals out of them. It was an OT loss to the New Jersey Devils, 5-4 win for the Devils in that one, in a game that I thought the Devils should have crushed that puck line over Vancouver. So we've got the Vancouver Canucks sitting 6th right now in the Pacific. The last time these teams matched up, Vancouver, this was last season, won at 5-2. Now, do I see the Vancouver Canucks coming out and beating the New York Rangers? No. I don't see it. They almost beat the Devils, but they're not going to come out here and be able to beat the Rangers in the Garden. I just don't see it happening. I'm cautious of taking them here on the puck line plus 1.5, but they are strong on that puck line. I just don't like all the changes of this team at the moment. They have the Islanders on deck. Like I said, tomorrow, I don't think this will be a look ahead for them to face the Islanders and their old teammate. But I do think this is kind of one where I wouldn't trust in Vancouver enough, and that's not where I want to put my money. So looking at the New York Rangers here, they're too juicy here on the money line, of course, at minus 240. Igor is expected in goal for them. So there's a couple of things we can do with this. Now, in their last game versus Calgary, do you guys realize that Calgary and the Rangers had 62 penalty minutes in that game? How was that even possible? Total 62 minutes in one game. It was insane. Markstrom got a misconduct penalty for 10 minutes in OT. These two teams were just absolutely scrapping that last game. And Edmonton was scrapping like crazy last night, too, if you watch that game. So we got some heated teams on the ice. I could see the Heat coming tomorrow with the Canucks and the Islanders. In this one, I think the Rangers clean up their game a little bit. I'm going to look at the Rangers' goals because we know the issue with the Vancouver Canucks is their defense. This offense is actually scoring. We saw them get 4 goals on the New York Rangers. They did give up 5. Spencer Martin expected with that 3.94 goals against average and this team allowing these goals to come in. I do think the New York Rangers will score. And New York, I know, has a phenomenal defense, but offensively, this team is averaging that 3.2 goals per game. So, and 32.8 shots. So I do see them coming in here strong, even though they had to go to overtime with Calgary to get that win. I do think this is a good game for you to expect them to play a strong offensive game as well as a strong defensive game. Now, because I'm looking at the Rangers for their team total over that 3.5, again, it's hard to find value in this one. It's minus 140. To take the Rangers in regulation, I do like as well, but it's juicier. I'm getting minus 150. So I can't hit that one. I just think the best bet is to take the Rangers on home ice for their team total over. Now, do I trust in the Canucks to help push us over that total? Well, I think that they could, but I don't want to bet on something that I think that they could. I feel more confident in just taking the Rangers team total over that 3.5. And that's all I'm going to take in this game, you guys. Remember, there's always a million ways to bet these games, but you got to put your money where you really think you're going to make the money. So while I do lean on the over, I just am not going to put my money there. Now, when we look at the Vancouver Canucks, another way I'm not going to put my money, if you do like the Rangers in the first period on that puck line, you're going to get value. We have seen strong trends to the Vancouver Canucks losing that first period following overtime, losing their last 4 following that OT. So there's a stat that helps you back that up if you're liking that. The Canucks, though, have owned this matchup, you guys. Kind of scary, winning the last 5 meetings over the New York Rangers, but they've gone 1-8 in their last 9 road games. Like I said, they've lost their star player. They had to go to overtime with the Devils. They had a hard-fought battle. I just don't see them winning this. But because of these stats, it's why I cannot look at the Rangers here to cover that puck line, even though I think there's extreme value because I think they are the better team. Just give me the team total over 3.5. And at the end of the day, if Vancouver comes out and gets 5 goals and the Rangers get 4, I don't care because I got the Rangers team total over 3.5 in this one. And that's what I think is going to happen. Let's move on to the next game, you guys. Like I said, only 2 on the board today. We have the Minnesota Wild taking on the Dallas Stars. Now, this matchup, let me just see if we still got 5.5. I wish it would move back up to 6. We did have some early 6s out there. Shop those lines if you can get a 6. I recommend getting that 6. Now, Dallas coming in at minus 152. Huge movement. They were minus 140 before. This makes me want to hit my head against a wall because I grabbed them earlier at minus 140. I can't, in the pit of my stomach, tell you to take a minus 152 bet here for the Dallas Stars. Now, the Minnesota Wild coming in at plus 126 now, and this total of 5.5. So if you can shop your lines and you can get a minus 140 to minus 144, I would bank on the Dallas Stars to get this one at home. If you're paying minus 150, stay off of it. I looked at the Dallas Stars team total, tried to find value there for you as well. Both of these teams sitting at 2.5. If you like the Minnesota Wild tonight to get over 2.5 goals, that is coming in, I believe, minus 110, minus 112-ish. If you like the Dallas Stars, you're going to have to pay the juice. It's minus 168. So the over 2.5, something I like for a parlay, but straight up, you guys know I cannot bet that straight up. Now, Jake Ottinger expected for the Dallas Stars, and I love what we've seen out of Jake Ottinger this season. The last time these teams played, the Dallas Stars back in December got a 4-1 win. And it's really interesting because we look at this total of 5.5. amazing trends to that under. We have the Wild, the last 4 going under. They're 6-1 in their last 7 versus the Central to the under, 5-1 in their last 6 versus the Western Conference to the under. The Stars 4-0 in their last 4, playing on 1 day's rest to the under, 5-0 in their last 5 home games to the under. They're also 5-1 in their last 6 games following win to that under, and 5-1 in their last 6 versus Central to the under. So we've got these phenomenal trends to the under. But when we look at these teams, and I use a site called Head to Head, I really recommend you guys go check it out. I can drop it in the link below, but if you type Head to Head records in here, and I'll drop this link right here for you guys in the chat here. I recommend using it because it's going to give you can search any team, you can search their head to head and what those last games were and who won and where they were and everything like that. It is a phenomenal tool to have when betting hockey. So when we look at these two teams head-to-head record, they have played 69 games versus each other, averaging that total of 5.9 goals per game. So that's over the 5.5. We look at the wins versus losses. We've seen the Minnesota Wild win 32, and we've seen the Dallas Stars win 37. So that's really tight odds there, you guys. Overtime wins, the Dallas Stars have won 7. Minnesota Wild have won 5 overtime wins there. And then when we look at these last couple of games, so back in December when these two teams played, when Dallas got the 4-1 win, it was in Dallas. The 2 games before that, we saw in Minnesota, the Wild got a 6-5 win over the Dallas Stars. And then the game before that did stay under that total too. The Minnesota Wild at home in that one as well, getting the win 3-2. But then we look at the last couple before that. So looking at the last, 6 games here, we've only seen 2 of those go under that total of 5.5. So I'm not sure how confident I feel in that under 5.5. I know we got phenomenal goaltending here, but I would feel more confident in the under 5.5. Okay, you guys, I do not know what happened. I apologize. My computer just sounded like it shook internally and my screen went green. I don't know what just happened there. So I am back. I apologize for that interruption. Super weird. Maybe I have too many tabs open. It just went green on me. Green's a sign of money. Let's take it as a good one here. So when I look at this matchup, you guys, I was talking about those head-to-head games. When we look at the last 5 games, we've seen 3 of those go over that total and in a big way. So looking at those totals now that I've got everything over, back in 2021, the Minnesota Wild won 7-2. 2021, the Dallas Stars won 7-4. The Dallas Stars then won in 2022 last season 6-3. And then we saw the 3-2 win there for the Wild, then the 6-5 win for the Wild, and then the 4-1 win for the Dallas Stars. So I do expect one of these teams to put up 3 goals in this one. And I lean on that under. Even though we've got these trends going over that total, I do think it stays under. Yeah, let me know. Did the video just freeze? Because I just totally got kicked out of my studio. Everything was green. I do expect this one to stay under, but I wouldn't bet it unless you can buy it up to 6. So shop your line, see if you can get a 6 out there on any books. If not, buy it up to 6. I don't feel confident in that 5.5. But I could see this being a 3-2 style win here for the Dallas Stars. And that's why I'm going to look at the Dallas Stars team total over 2.5 at -168. We're paying the juice, but I would put that into a parlay because I do think that one comes in this matchup. So Dallas in regulation is another thing you could look at. Dallas in regulation, you're going to get better odds coming in at -140. Could I see this one going to overtime? Absolutely. If it goes to overtime, I would definitely live bet that for the Dallas Stars here with Ottinger. I think he's a better goalie. So looking at Ottinger, I think we have value on taking his save shots on goal tonight. We're getting this at 26.5 save shots on goal at -118. And this is my favorite bet of the night. I'm expecting the Minnesota Wild to come out and get these shots on goal. Well, we know the Dallas Stars hold opponents to 2.56 goals per game. They are allowing 30.9 shots on goal. The Minnesota Wild come in and they're getting these shots. They're going over 30. They're averaging 31.3 shots on goal and 3.04 goals per game. So I do expect these shots to come in for the Minnesota Wild. I think this number of 26.5 is a little light. And yes, we've seen some games where we've taken this over 26.5, thinking it seemed light, and the opponent was held to held to 24 shots on goal. That kind of number. I don't think we're going to see this tonight. I do think we'll see Dallas allowing these shots to come in and Ottinger just completely standing on his head. So give me Jake Ottinger for over 26.5 save shots on goal at -118. I love this bet tonight, you guys. He better not disappoint. So yeah, that's where we're going. It's only 2 games, you guys. My camera, I tell you, I've had one of these days. My camera feels a lot closer. Let me know if you like the look better at this angle. So yesterday I finished up Puckett. I turned off my light, which is above my camera, and somehow my bracelet hit the edge of my camera with the camera starting to fall. So I grabbed it. Thank God. It's just one of those couple of days. We had the full moon on Sunday. Don't know if it's thrown me off a little bit, but you guys, let's recap these games. And again, thank you so much for joining me here early. I know I didn't catch all of you. I apologize. The rest of you, I'm going to bookmark these games. So the Vancouver Canucks and the New York Rangers, you guys, I think it's the Rangers game all day. It's their game, obviously, to lose here. They need to come out nice and strong in this matchup. I expect a good time from Igor Shesterkin here in net for the New York Rangers. I think it's really hard for the Canucks to come into the Garden and get the win, even though they have been playing strong. Now, with that, because they've dominated those meetings, I'm really not wanting to take the Rangers for the straight up win or that puck line win, because the Canucks have always played them hard. But I think the Canucks without Horvat here will struggle. So I'm going to take the Rangers team total over 3.5. I think this is a great way to go. I think the defense and the goaltending of the Canucks will allow for them to get 4 goals in this game. Like I said, little juicy at -140, but I think it's worth paying that juice for their team total over 3.5. Now, if you really want to bet a side, I lean on the Rangers in regulation. It just scares me a little, and it's juicier. It's -150. I'm going to stay up the total for the full game because, like I said, it depends on how the Canucks come out, and I'm not willing to put my money there. And I also let you guys know that the Vancouver Canucks following overtime lose that first period. Well, they have in the last 4. I'm not betting it again, you guys. Again, the only thing I'm betting here is the New York Rangers team total over 3.5. The Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars. I'm going to take Dallas here. I think they get it done at -140. I think is the best way to take it on the money line. I'm not going to take them in regulation. I could see this one going to overtime, being 2-2, going to OT. Both of these teams so phenomenally strong. I do lean on that under. We've seen some pretty solid trends to the over when these teams match up with the higher power offenses, but I do think the true nature of both of these teams is strong defenses. If Marc-Andre Fleury was in net, I would sign up for that under 5.5 all day long. If you can buy it up to 6, I feel more confident in the under 6. At least would get the push. I hate pushing, but at the 5.5, I just can't hit it there without Marc-Andre Fleury in goal. Now, the Stars team total over 2.5. I think is a nice one to take tonight because I do think they'll get this. You'd have to parlay that with something else because it's coming in at minus 168. Now, my favorite bet of this whole game is Jake Ottinger tonight. I'm expecting him to have a really strong performance at home, taking his save shots on goal over 26.5. So if I had to build a parlay, I would take the Dallas Stars team total over 2.5 and the Rangers team total over 3.5. I think both of those come in nicely today. And yeah, that's all I'm doing. Like I said, you guys, only 2 games on the slate today. Not very much to work with, but we've got a phenomenal card tomorrow. We'll get to see the Islanders go at it again, continue this win streak that they're on. I think they have an amazing one, and I appreciate you guys. If I was looking at first periods, I would look at the under in the first period between the Dallas Stars and the Wild, but I don't think you're going to get any value. So have a good one, you guys. Take care. And I'm sorry, Magic, that you don't like my voice, but no one asked you to be here. So have a good one, you guys. I love comments like this. It's a lot of fun. And keep smiling. Let's make some freaking money. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.